Cool. Okay. Good afternoon. We have all the board members in attendance. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Happy New Year to everyone, and hope all of you had a good winter break and holiday time with your family. We will call the special meeting Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024 to order at 3:01 p.m. Melissa, roll call, please.
Director Bankus? Here. Director Carey? Here. Director Hafley? Here. Director Jorgensen? Here. Director Malpacum?
Here.
Director Nelson?
Director Nelson is on excused absence today. She will not be joining us.
Director Ott? Here.
So we have 6 board members in attendance today. Please join me as we observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Director Ott, can you please make the motion to adopt the agenda?
Yes, I move that the Board of Education adopts the agenda as presented.
Second. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Bankus? Aye. Director Carey? Aye. Director Hafley? Aye. Director Jorgensen? Aye. Director Malpacum?
Aye.
Director Ott?
The ayes have it. The agenda is adopted as presented. We do have executive session today for roughly 2 hours. Director Jorgensen, can you please make the motion to enter into executive session?
This is a longer one, so I wanted my mic on. I move that the Board of Education convenes into executive session to discuss legal advice per CRS 24-6402-4B, particular matter negotiation of master agreement with Colorado Springs Education Association, and meet and confer with educational support professionals and executive professional employees regarding employee handbooks, negotiations per CRS 24-6402-4E, which is particular matter negotiation of master agreement with Colorado Springs Education Association, and meet and confer with educational support professionals and executive professional employees regarding employee handbooks.
Second. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Bankus? Director Carey? Aye. Director Hafley? Aye. Director Jorgensen?
Aye.
Director Malpacum?
Aye.
Director Ott?
The ayes have it. We will enter into executive session now and rejoin the special meeting at roughly 5 p.m. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. We have returned from executive session, and there is no need to modify the agenda. May I please have Mr. Lyman Kaiser up here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lyman.
Thank you, Lyman. Happy New Year to you and to the community that is watching us remotely on television. Mr. Lyman, Mr. Kaiser is the only community member that is in the audience today. So it shows your dedication and commitment to District 11. Thank you for being here. We have one action item on the agenda. Director Carey, can you please make the motion for action item D1?
I move that the Board of Education approves the 2024 mill levy rates for certification to the El Paso County Treasurer.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This item was presented to the board as non-action item during the December 13th board meeting, regular board meeting, and since then I think we have additional information. Superintendent Gall, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Dr. Comfort? Good evening. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. We're back today to talk about our assessed valuation, our mill levy override certification. If you remember when I met with you shortly before break, we still had some numbers that were up in the air. We had some information. We were able to complete some models, but we were waiting for our final assessed valuation from the county. We did receive that early last week. So we've been able to go through and, my apologies.
Brandon, this is last week's. Did you want the new?
Oh, is it? Is this the one that's in the agenda, in the item for today?
So I was never given that presentation. I can pull it up in,
From board docs?
yeah. I can
Yeah,
just pull
that'll
up
be
the
fine.
board docs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My apologies.
That's not.
If you'll go down just to the slide that has the chart on it.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So remember, we had a couple of models, and actually the assessed valuation came in higher, which for us means that that's a greater tax break on the community members. So it was even a little better than our models had. We intentionally presented what we thought might be worst case, so that's good. And you'll see here on the screen, this is the actual, taking into account the new property tax rate with our assessed valuation, different sample market values of houses, and the estimated change in taxes with the 8% inflation that the board showed support for in our non-action meeting. So some pretty substantial tax decreases for property owners, and then we do have some modest increases for higher property rates. And so that's the information I have to present to the board tonight. Once we have the board signature, then we'll be able to get our assessed valuation certified, and we'll move forward.
So these are annual costs that you have on the
These are
far end.
annual costs, yes, sir.
Okay. And there was another one-page document, if you can briefly run that document, that's on board docs, so the community is aware of it.
Sure. So in general, all of our mill levy rates, we are reducing this year. So you'll see that here. Our levy plan for 2017, our maximum mill levy, which is our general fund levy, or I'm sorry, our maximum mill levy, and then our abatement levy, which is uncollected property taxes. So you'll see overall, our total levy is going to reduce by 6.4%. Again, because we have fixed dollar and fixed dollar plus inflation, we just have to get a certain amount of money. And so as property values increase, we often can reduce our tax burden on the community. You'll see there on the top, our assessed valuation did go up. The average that we were originally projecting was 25%, but with the legislative changes of reducing by 55,000 and reducing tax rate, it actually went up by 18.2%. Which isn't necessarily great in every other avenue, but for our mill levy calculations, we are able to reduce the tax burden.
Okay. Is there anything else you need to add?
That's all I have.
Okay, board members, do you have any comments or questions before I call for a vote? Director Ott.
Thank you. So for future mill levies, you know, how will that impact how much we can ask for? We can go down, but can we necessarily go up with Tabor for those who try to understand
Yeah,
Tabor?
so that's a great question, Director Ott. So there is a state statute that limits our total mill levy as a district to 25 to 30, they've fudged it a little bit over time, % of our total program. And so District 11, because the community voters have passed a number of mill levies for us in the past, we are pretty close to that maximum level. Now, as we gain enrollment, our total program grows, and so that helps adjust. But to the point of, like, right now, we couldn't go back for a large mill levy to the community because we're already pretty close to that maximum rate. So right now, that's not an issue, but in the future, if our total program does not grow, if inflation continues to grow, we will be confronted with having to look at, can we continue to collect the inflation amount?
That answered your question, Director Ott. Director Bankus.
I just want to say thank you for your clear explanations, because I can go out and repeat what you gave us the last time, and there are many happy folks out there with that information. And then your question was really well taken. I didn't have that as something that I already knew, and it's important information for all of us to have when we take a look at how we're going to spend money and what we can look forward to in the future. Thank you.
Seeing no further questions from the board, I do have one question. I think I asked about that $55,000 reduction that we are talking about, that the legislature approved for this year, and bringing the is it the 6.785 to 6.7? If that changes in future years, okay, that's no longer a component any longer, and that $55,000 is not given, then do we need to come and change the mill levy rates?
Well, every year we do come and certify mill levy rates. And so through a variety of factors, either those factors change or we have large property increases again, or tax rates change or whatever that is, we'll always come back and have to recertify. And again, because our mill levy is fixed dollar, the mills might change, but the overall amount won't, minus the inflation number. And so, that's why we do this on a yearly basis, to address any of those changes.
So thank you. If you can pull that document again, if it's not too much trouble. The first document that you had, which was the mill levy rate certification, and it showed for the $200,000, $300,000, and the $500,000. So just for the community, this, the 8% inflation rate, which the board talked about imposing, even with imposing that, you would see for most of our community that is going to be in the $200,000, $300,000, and $400,000, the tax increase, the taxes are going to, your property taxes from the District 11 side at least is going to decrease or pretty much remain the same. The tax burden is not going to come from the district side. And we are certainly aware of property values going up and the property taxes going up, and we are cautious about that, and we want to make sure that we are responsive to our citizenship in this regard. So we did have a healthy discussion about this topic when it came as a non-action item on December 13th. So just you coming and putting the data together right now and providing that information that shows that the impact to our community is not going to be in terms of dollars, that is reassuring. So thank you. Seeing no further questions from the board side, I'm going to call for a vote. Melissa, roll call, please.
Director Bankus?
Aye.
Director Carey?
Aye.
Director Hafley?
Aye.
Director Jorgensen?
Aye.
Director Malpacum?
Aye.
Director Ott?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The mill levy rate certification did take place, and the total mills from the District 11 side is also going down. I think it was 2.6 or something like that in that other chart that we had. So that's again for the community's awareness that the total mills is going down, and that's what the board approved today. That's the only action item on today's agenda. Calendar review, we have a Wednesday, January 10th regular board meeting. We most likely will have an executive session preceding that, and I will, after talking to the superintendent and Vice President Hafley, have that agenda setting meeting tomorrow, let the board informed about the timing and everything, and what is on the agenda specifically for the regular board meeting on Wednesday, January 10th. January 17th is a work session right now, currently on the calendar. With that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that the Board of Education adjourn.
Moved and seconded. Melissa, roll call, please.
Director Bankus? Director Carey? Director Hafley? Director Jorgensen? Director Malpacum?
Aye.
Director Ott?
The ayes have it. The special meeting is officially adjourned at 5:58 p.m. And we will reconvene at the chairs up there for the work session. We can take a 5-minute break and join there in 5 minutes for the work session.